In this section, we're going to discuss the AR aging analysis, and you should do this analysis at least once a month, and it can be suggested to do it once a week. And what it entails is printing out an AR aging report, which we will go do shortly, and analyzing overdue amounts and taking concrete action to collect those amounts and documenting the actions taken. So let's create an AR aging report in Peachtree, and to do that we will go to Reports and Forms. We will click Accounts Receivable, and we will click Aged Receivables. And you'll see the client name here, the invoice number, and the aging buckets. What we're going to do is we're going to export this report to Excel. And you'll find that Excel and accounting packages are very compatible. Just about every accounting package will interact with Excel. In Peachtree, simply select Excel and select Create a new Microsoft Excel workbook. You also have the option to add a new worksheet in an existing Microsoft Excel workbook. This is something you may want to do. You may want to have a tab in Excel for each month every time you do an analysis. Or you could create a new Microsoft Excel and keep it in a folder with all the other analysis. This is up to you. We will select OK, and the report will be generated in Excel, where we could add columns, and that is exactly what we're going to do. And you see we have made a column, Actions Taken. And we're not going to be too concerned with amounts in the 0 to 30 days. You do not want to be a nag to your client. After all, they're the ones paying the bills. We're going to take particular attention to amounts 61 days and over. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight these columns, and we're going to see these amounts that are overdue in these buckets. And you see in this report there is a column for contact and telephone number. Let's just say we called Emma Armstrong to ask about why this invoice 10124 has not been paid yet, as well as invoice number 10119. And you see, as stated in the actions taken, we have talked to Emma Armstrong, and we list the time and the day, and we state what she said to us. And in this case, she said a check will be cut this Friday for invoices 10124 and 10119. The reason we do this is we want to ensure that we get paid, that our company gets paid. That's how the rent gets paid in payroll. It's also a reason why when you offer credit to your clients, you want to run a credit check on that client. You want to make sure that they have a good reputation for paying. You do not want to be caught with, say, $25,000 in unpaid bills. How are you going to meet payroll if they don't pay? So AR is very important to analyze. You can also contact individuals via email. You could send them accounting statements for all invoices due, but you want to make contact and you want to document every action that you have taken. Here is another example of action taken. We called the office, and on the answering machine it stated that our contact was on vacation. So we state this, that she is on vacation, and that she will be back on a certain date, and we left a message on her machine. When contacting clients about overdue amounts, you want to start off polite, and then as it reaches into other buckets, you want to become more urgent. You want to state that service may be cut off. You may want to inform the salespeople not to perform any services for this client until they pay this amount. You may want the client to contact people higher up to push the payment through. If an amount is over certain days overdue, say 120, you may want to establish an allowance for doubtful accounts, which is basically hitting an expense account for the possibility that you will not be able to collect a certain amount. So you see how much an effect of not being able to collect on your receivables can have on your books. It can bring down a business, and this is why you want to keep atop the aged receivables. You also want to keep atop the finance news. Just because you have a business relationship with a client and it has been good doesn't mean it will always be good. Companies go bankrupt. If you hear of a company going bankrupt and you have $50,000 in AR due to that company, you may want to put pressure to get that money as soon as possible. If you are using QuickBooks, the procedure is the same. You'd go to Reports, Customers and Receivables, AR Aging Detail Report. You would export the report to Excel, create a new Excel workbook, and select Export. You can see the report is a little different. In construction, the aging buckets are not in columns, they're in row format. But the procedure is the same. You create a column for actions taken and you document. And you'll see these AR amounts are overdue by over 60 days. So you want to take concrete action. So what you're going to do is you're going to contact these clients and you're going to ask them when payment should be forthcoming. And you're going to document your inquiry and the responses you receive. So we will document actions taken to collect these amounts. A common procedure is to send a customer statement each month showing all the invoices that are due to your company. You also want to have access to information in terms of people to contact if invoices go over a certain amount. Sometimes you'll call and you leave messages and nothing will happen. You want to be able to have another contact that you can call, maybe perhaps the boss of the person that is not responding to you. Many accounting packages also have pre-made up letters that you can send for collections. For example, in QuickBooks, you can go to Company, select Prepare Letters with Envelopes, and select Collection Letters. And you can see in one broad swipe, you can have collection letters generated for all clients that have invoices overdue by 61 days or more. Then you would select Next, and you'll see a list of the clients that have overdue amounts. Let's just say you just talked to someone at Dang Rabbit and the check has just been FedExed. You may want to deselect that client because you have just talked to them and a check should be coming via FedEx and you should receive it in a day or two. You select Next, And then you have the choice of what type of letter: a formal collection, collection for job, friendly collection letter, harsh collection for job. If the items are overdue by 90 days and over, perhaps you want to have a harsh collection letter. Select next. You list the name that you want to have on the letter, the title. Select next, and it will start to create the letters. And you'll see it opens up in Microsoft Word, and you'll see the letters all prepared to be printed. And of course, you can adjust these letters however you want by simply going onto the sheet and typing in or deleting what you feel is necessary. And this option is available in most accounting packages. So to summarize, before you take on a client, you want to run a credit check on them. You want to establish a low level of credit in the beginning, and as trust is established, maybe expand on that credit. And you'll find in most accounting packages you will be able to set a credit limit when you set up the customer in the system. In the beginning, you might want to have this lower, and as the trust is built up, you can increase it. You also may want to have payment terms of 50% up front, especially if you are going to pay upfront costs such as materials, and then pay the rest at the end of the job or when the job is half complete. You want to protect yourself. Once the business relationship is established, you want to keep atop the AR. You do not want to allow receivables to get in the danger zone. You want to take concrete action and document this action. Start with friendly reminders, possibly send an account statement for your client each month, and then as it goes into the next bucket, become a little more urgent in how you word your collection letters. You may possibly have to talk to the salespeople and have the salespeople contact their contacts to state that the service may be cut off if they do not pay the remaining balance. So run credit checks and keep atop the AR.